Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sam and the channel is Be Positive Sam, and my channel is about my weekly weigh-in Slimming World. I follow the Slimming World plan and weigh in on a Thursday. Today is the 17th of November and the sun is shining. Can you believe it? The sun is actually out after last night's absolute downpour. I thought I was going to get a canoe out this morning. It's that bad. So we are on, I'll just hit the table. So we are on week 15. So those who have been following me, it's been 15 weeks. Can you believe it? Oh God. So what a week it has been, let me tell you. Now, if I remember rightly, I told you I had a busy week and I was going to have to really stay focused. For those who haven't watched, I'll try and post my last video up here for you to have a look. Anyway, firstly, I haven't been totally honest with you. Today is Thursday. You're correct. I'm correct on that. But because of the week I had, I actually weighed in yesterday on a Wednesday. I don't know if you can remember, but it was my daughter's birthday yesterday. So what I did, I weighed in yesterday morning, but my consultant was actually taking over the group. So I weighed in Wednesday morning, a day early, because yesterday I was out and in the evening, and I just thought, oh, do I weigh today? Because I knew I was going out. So I sort of cheated in a way. But anyway, day early. Oh, I'll let you know in a minute. Go on. Don't know why I'm laughing. Right, I got some notes down here. Now, what I must say is I haven't actually took any footage of my week. So, one is because the people that I've been with didn't particularly want to be filmed. So, rather than doing lots of snapshots and things, I thought what I'll try and do is try and tell you about my week in an interesting way. Don't know I'm going to do that. But anyway, so let's start. Last Thursday, I went to group, I had a weigh-in and lost £0.5 pound. If you can remember that's what happened. And I told you I was going out for a curry and I couldn't plan ahead. So I went there with the mindset that I wanted to enjoy myself, because obviously I paid for this meal in advance. And it was a banquet meal, which means that you didn't have one great big meal. So, for example, I would have probably, if I was going for a curry, I would either have shashlik, rice and salad, or a danzak. Now, I have to have danzak mild, which means then, because danzak is one of the lower sins, but because I asked for it to be sort of mild medium, I usually stick a load of cream in it, which then whops up the sin value. But anyway, that's what I would usually choose, that and plain rice. So what this banquet does is it puts little nibbles on the plate. So I've got no idea what they were, but they were tiny, like smaller than a chicken nugget. They were really nice, but they were like fried I don't know, tiny onion barges, if you like. So I had 2 of them because I wanted to see what it tastes like. But they were actually very nice. So I had a couple of them. If I'd have gone out for a meal, I would probably bought a poppadom. I did eat one of them. And I would have also eaten a naan bread. But because it was shared on the table, it was like quite a few of us on the table, they were cut into little sections. So I did eat a section of that. Whereas I would have probably ordered the whole thing and ate the whole thing. So I was trying to be mindful as I was picking through my dinners. So then there's always a chicken, a beef, a lamb and a vegetable dish. No idea what they were. One tasted a bit like coconut. Got no idea what they were. But I thought, hey, go with it. So I had a spoon of this, spoon of that, spoon of that. So I had a selection on my plate. Drunk Diet Coke because I was driving, and so that's how I you know, so I didn't go overboard, but I purposely just took a little bit of each thing so I could feel like I was part of it. I didn't want to sit there and be miserable and go, oh, I can't eat this or I can't eat that, because at the end of the day I'm trying to lose weight and also fit it into my lifestyle. So that was Thursday. But when I did go there on Thursday, I actually wore, I think I wore this actually, a bit of sparkle, and some jeans. I actually put some heels on. Yeah, I was trying not to fall over, let me tell you, because the floor was shiny. So I was a bit like Bambi, you know, legs going akimbo, you know. So I was trying my hardest to be feminine. So anyway, a lot of people had noticed then, because I've not seen a few people, quite a few people had noticed that I'd lost weight. So that then takes me to Friday. Now, Friday, I had a wake to go to in the afternoon, but I ended up having to go on a meeting. So I didn't go to the wake. I wasn't overly close to the person. I just felt, because I knew the family, I just felt it was nice to attend, but it was bang right on time. So I had to stop that one, and I sent my apologies to the family. They were fine, and so yeah, I can't remember what I had to eat that night, but I because of the night before, I tried to stay, you know, sort of like picked at fruit and veg and things like that, as I didn't really go over on sins the next day. So then we had Saturday night, and it was bowls bingo. I call it bowls bingo, but it was bingo at the bowls club. No, I didn't win a flipping thing. Hubby never played bingo before, and we're sitting there because I had a dabber. I found this dabber and I was like, oh, I'm going to keep that, because you know what I'm like with stationery, and in one of the clearances there was a dabber, and I was like, that'll come in handy one day. So we're sitting there, and the caller goes, we're going to go for 4 corners. So I was like, right, okay. So, which I found a little bit difficult because the number wasn't actually in the corners, and I was like, oh, how do I work this out? But anyway, I sussed it out in the end. And then they said we're going to go for the full house. So anyway, they're calling out numbers, you know, 11, 16 and all that lot. And I'm dabbing my numbers away. But hubby is laughing at me. He's like going, no, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. And I was looking at him and I was like, shush. Yeah, because it's like dead quiet in this room. And I'm like, shush. And he's like taking the mick out of me because I'm doing it wrong. And I've looked over to his card and he's marked down 2 numbers. The ones that are in the corner. He hadn't been marking them off. And yet he was laughing at me. So, of course, when somebody called house for the 4 corners, I was like, what the heck are you doing? I was like, you're supposed to be doing the numbers, because, and he said, no, it's only for 4 corners. So he was actually only marking off the corners. So he only had 2 numbers out of this strip. So, of course, for about a second, you know, like a couple of seconds, he's trying to look at my cards, tick off the numbers on his cards. So, yeah. Anyway, then they brought over, what did they bring over? They had crisps on the table. Then they brought a cheese board out with some cheese and biscuits. I did nick a couple of biscuits and put some butter on it. I didn't eat the cheese. And there was something else I bought. Sausage rolls. That was it. Anyway, I didn't eat sausage roll. I'm not a fan of them. I think the pastry tastes funny. So that was that. And then they bought some some sweets, as in like roses, tin of roses. So I did nick the Whisper, one of them. So that was that. So I thought to myself, and all day I'd purposely not gone over sins or anything like that. So I was quite happy with my selection of what I picked at. Then Sunday was Remembrance, so I was in the parade. Actually, I can actually put some of the footage there. And what I will say is that I managed to get back into the clothes that I was in a couple of years ago. Now the jacket might look a little bit tighter, so I'll try and put some before and after pictures in.
So let us remember before God and commend to his pure keeping those who died for their country in war, those whom we knew, whose memory we treasure, and all who have lived and died in the service of mankind.
Robert Butcher, Robert Henry Butcher, Norman Campbell, Wilbraham Chapman, Arthur Coleman, Arthur Thomas Coleman,
T.R. Cornford, Percy J. Court, Frank W.S. Craig, William J. Cram, S. Crowhurst, William Gale, William A.
Sidney S. Funnell, Harry Graham, Martin L. Gregory, Kenneth A. Hackett, Henry V. Hart, Arthur J. Henty, Albert J. Harriott, Austin S. Hill, James V. Hoadley, Charles Holmes.
Conference! Carry! Silence!
But as you can see, I couldn't go waving at the camera or, oh hi, Yeah, I mean, it was lovely, and I feel so privileged and honoured to be, part of that. So, yeah, then we had a lovely service afterwards, and then we had to go back into the Constitutional Club where they had some sandwiches and sausage rolls and, buffet type food. So I purposely, even though there was a table down the other end, I purposely stayed up the other end because what I had done, I had sorted out my slow cooker and I put chicken and I was making a chicken compost chicken, really is what I should say. Didn't actually follow a recipe. I bunged anything in, chicken breast, absolutely everything, Worcester sauce, you name it, it went in there, and hope for the best when I got home. So I knew I had something to eat when I went home. So had I have picked up food at the Con Club, I possibly wouldn't wanted to have eaten anything. But I knew if I didn't put the slow cooker on before I left, the chances are I was then going to go, oh, I can't bother to cook nothing. It's been a long day. Can we have takeaway? So again, I was quite mindful of what I was doing. So that I was quite pleased about that. That day went quite well. So then Monday happened, and I had a meeting to go to in the afternoon, which I've forgotten all about. So I had to go there, but that finished a little bit earlier. But because I thought I was going to be finishing sort of tea time, what I had done is I bought myself a Slimming World ping meal from Iceland, and so I use that because I find them so helpful. I'm so pleased that they've got them, because you're hungry, you come home and it's like, oh my god, what can I eat? Yes, that's great. So I nicked a few chips of only oven chips. So I nicked I don't know, about 4 or 5, and I think I done the Tikka Rogan Josh one. Perfect. Dunked a few chips, put some speed food with it, some spinach, and that was it. That did me. That was enough. So I was quite pleased about that day. Then what happened? Tuesday. Oh yeah. Tuesday was the day that it started to pee down here. So I went to Brighton shopping because I thought people might be staying at home, because it was one of those days that you wanted to stay in and cuddle up on the sofa. It was so blustery and it was just flipping horrible. And so I decided to go shopping, hoping to beat the crowds. And I think it worked, because it was pretty dead actually for Brighton. And of course I'm walking down one of the main roads. I can't remember what the road's called. Western Road, I think it's called. And I don't know if anyone on here knows Brighton, but you've got the top bit where the clock tower is, and then you go down this big hill towards the lanes. And as we're walking down there to the sports shop, we usually walk down there and pop in Wetherspoons, and it's just a habit. Cup of tea, breakfast, sort of like it's just the thing that we do. Anyway, we're walking down and it is peeing down, and the wind's blowing, and I'm like, oh, I was like a drowned rat. And I sort of looked at hubby and I was like, do you know, I so want a Wetherspoons, like really want a Wetherspoons. And he was like, yeah, so do I. And I was like, oh, no. Anyway, I managed to stay away. I actually didn't go in there because I was like, it was, I fancied it, but I didn't need it. And I knew I was going to cook tea, and I just thought, no, it's like 36 sins or something like that for a breakfast that I would eat. And I just thought, and the thing is, it's not just my breakfast. My hubby doesn't eat egg with beans. So he puts the egg on my plate. He doesn't eat toast. So he puts the toast on my plate. Doesn't eat the butter. So I end up eating double the amount because he doesn't eat these combination of food. So yeah, he's a fusspot. I'm a dustbin. This is why I have trouble losing weight and he doesn't. So we didn't go. I'm quite pleased actually that I didn't go. So it wasn't needed. Yeah, so anyway, walked back up the hill, got wet and did some more shopping. And I took a photo actually while I was in Brighton. You might have seen it on Instagram. So I'll see if I can put there's a picture of me doing a litter pick and the one on the other day, Tuesday. See if you can see a difference. I'm hoping you can, because between the two there's about a 2.5 stone difference. So I'm hoping you'll see a difference. Anyway, so that was an unexpected trip. So now we're on Wednesday. It was my daughter's birthday, and I knew we were going to go out for something to eat in the afternoon. We'd arranged that she was going to come over. She'd booked half day, so we were going to come home early. And I knew I was going to buy a cake. So we got Colin the caterpillar, or Clyde, no, from Asda. So he's Clyde the caterpillar. And so I knew I was going to have a bit of cake, and I knew Way Day was Thursday. So what I did was I thought, oh, and I always go to my mum's on a Wednesday to see her. So I thought, right, I'll pop into a different group on Wednesday to see if I can limit the damage that the week has brought. So I thought, because I knew I was going to go out for the meal on the thing, so I sort of cheated myself, but not, because obviously it's going to count this week. But I didn't want to see a plus, too big a plus on the scales. So when I got there, to my surprise, my consultant was there, and she knew I'd had a busy week anyway. And so I jumped on the scales. But before I jumped on the scales, this particular group, I used to go at Christmas time. So this is the one that I came back to at Christmas, and then broke my foot, and then Joe passed away, and then I left that group for a little while. So they'd not seen me since April, May. So when I got there and I weighed my money, the two ladies sitting on the desk were still the same. And they were like, oh, it was so lovely to see you. And it was nice to go back, actually. And they was like, you look so great. They were like, I really can see the difference. And because I'd not seen them since I left, when I was in a bit of a dark place, they were so nice. And it was really lovely to somebody to actually say, oh, well, and I know I go on about, people noticing weight loss and things, but it was so nice. But going back to the bowls, a few of them hadn't seen me since the summer, and one of them said, oh, you don't look like you're on steroids anymore. The lady I was telling you about, when one of the members asked me if I was on steroids because I'd put on so much weight. I was like, thanks for that. And this other lady was putting some rubbish in the bin, scraping a plate, and she wanted to jump in the bin. She was so embarrassed. I was like, no, I'm not on steroids. She was like, are you sure? And I was like, no, I'm not. I should know if I'm on steroids, and no, I'm not. I'm just fat. So, anyway, so this lady that was throwing the stuff in the bin, she said to me, you don't look like you're on steroids anymore, Sam. So we was having a giggle over that. So anyway, So I went and jumped on the scales. And let now I got on. I had a loss. Oh look, I was looking for a maintain and I had a loss. Can you flipping believe it? I was like, oh my God. I lost £1. So, and it was a day early, don't forget. So it's week 15 and I lost £1 and I wrote on here that I weighed in a different grid. So I've now lost 23.5 pounds. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I've jumped on my scales this morning just to see if I would have lost any weight, and it actually says the same. So yesterday for my daughter's birthday, we popped up to Harvester. So I purposely ate the salad bowl. I chose the chicken, the half chicken. I did eat some chips and I did have the sweet corn, but what I did is I ate the bowl of salad because I was flipping hungry, and then I went and got some more to put on my plate. Had a cup of tea rather than drinking a thingy. I didn't choose a pudding. I know I really, really fancied the Sundays, but because I knew we had cake at home, good old Clyde, I thought, actually, I'm going to save the money and the sins, and we'll have dinner, you know, a cake and whatnot when we get home. So that's what we did. And then she went out with her friends last night for a drink, and then I went out, just out down the Bowls Club to watch them play darts. So, and then this morning, like I say, I woke up this morning and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to just jump on the scales. But when I jumped on the scales, this was first thing this morning, so I've just got my 90 on, do you know what I mean? And it actually said 13.132, I think it's something like that. And I jumped off the scales and I was like, oh my God. I was like, it actually says 13. So I said to my husband, quick, come and have a look, just to prove it. Do you know, went back on the scales and it went 14.02 or something like that. And I was like, oh, I didn't matter where I said there. I was trying to go around the bathroom, trying to make it go back to 13, but it didn't. So I don't know why it said 13 something on that day, on that moment, and then not the next, I don't know. Anyway, then after that, I weighed about 4 or 5 times and it just wouldn't come off of 14. So I'm thinking, if I'd have weighed this morning, could I have lost £1.5 pounds? I don't know. But last night, let me tell you, because I've not eaten a food out like that for a long time, my belly was absolutely churning and frequent trips to the toilet. So it just shows that my body's not used to eating. I mean, it wasn't overly fatty either. You know, I did choose the lower the lower calorie. You know, I took the skin off the chicken, this, that and the other. You know, but my God, it did not play havoc with my belly. Let me tell you. So that could have been why I didn't put no weight on. I don't know. So the week ahead doesn't look as busy. Thank God. So I'm hoping to make some soup later from the new soup book, and carrot and coriander, I think it's called. So I'm going to give that a go. And yeah, it's just been an absolute manic week. So, but I managed to stay focused. My whole purpose this week was I need to stay focused. I actually have another confession. Didn't actually write anything down. So I think I've done quite well, because I usually write things down, but it's just been a total manic week. And I know this is a lengthy video, and I can only apologise. But the other thing, quickly, is I put a poll out yesterday on the community page asking people, do they prefer, do they think, which season helps them lose weight? So is it the summer with the salads? Do they feel they can find it easier there? Or the winter sort of comfort foods? Now, I am a winter comfort food person because I look at it that if I'm in the summer, it's so hot, I can't be fagged to cook. And, you know, and you go past a pub and you're like, oh, well, a pub, you know, I just can't be bothered to cook. Whereas in the winter, I feel like I can be more in control. Not so spontaneous, because you don't just go, oh, let's go for a trip out or whatever, because it's cold and gloomy or whatever. I know we've got Christmas, but I actually find the winter a lot easier. And it seems I'm not the only one, because on the poll itself, there's a few of you that have said the same thing. And it was just something I was interested to know, because, you know, I mean, I don't, salads are all right, but they're a bit boring after a while. And somebody else commented about you can make nice soups, and I do love soup, I must admit. So thank you for those that have taken part in that poll. I really appreciate it. What's going on with my hair here? And so thank you to everybody who's watched this channel. I hope you join me in my other videos and in my next ones. And let me know how you got on during the week. You know, have you had a busy week, and how did you stay focused? Or if you just want to say hi, just say hi. I'll be here, and I will be on the other end of the phone or computer, waiting to speak to you all. So have a great week, and I love you all, and I shall see you for the next weigh-in. See you later. Bye.